All right, good morning, Trade Pro. Welcome to Morning Market Update for this beautiful, I don't even know what day it is, November 14th. It's a Thursday of 2019. I hope you guys are having an awesome morning so far. I'm presenting from a different angle. Sometimes we go, the monitors are still here, don't you guys worry. They're there. There's ladders, splatters, and everything you need. Oh, this is backwards. You can see some stuff. All right, so that's not the account balance. That's the quotes of the S&P 500. You can see only traded 201,000 contracts so far. So anywho, let's roll with this. It's cold here, but they fixed the heating in our office, and now we're all in t-shirts, which is kind of good. There's Victorio. Say hi to Victorio. Jeez, Vicky. Hair down, and you don't care. Long hair and don't care. All right, let's get into this, guys. We have a few things to talk about today. Number one, today at 1 p.m. It's today, right, Mark? Today at 1 p.m. we have the 25K Q&A for you guys on YouTube. 1 p.m. Eastern. Be there. We're going to answer all your questions. Come prepared with a few of them. And then obviously there's going to be questions as you go, but we're going to answer them all. Mark and I will go live. And if there's questions that we think somebody else could help you answer, I'll pass it off to somebody else in the office. So we're all going to be here to answer your questions. Take advantage of that. You get all of us for free to answer your questions. I've been trading since 2001, and so I probably know a few things. Not everything, but a few things. Jerome Powell yesterday signaled further rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. He signaled the further rate cuts are unlikely for now. Jerome Powell told Congress in his latest testimony today, he's testifying once again. All right, he said that the current state of monetary policy is likely to remain appropriate as long as the economy stays on track. All right, U.S. core inflation expectedly slowed to 2.3% from 2.4%, driven partly by real estate markets, so like Boston and New York that were once hot, cooling off. And one of the things pushing inflation higher is oil, but oil's rally in the last little bit hasn't been enough to really offset the loss of the housing market strength. All right, so Jerome Powell has basically said we're going to maintain our current policy stance, but he did make a few words of caution. Really, he didn't say anything that was market moving, but he did say this. He said the federal budget is on an unsustainable path. That's what Jerome Powell himself said. National debt in the United States now tops $23 trillion. And he said that it could make it difficult for the economy to recover if it ever encountered a downturn. Interesting language and commentary. Keeping interest rates low, part of the reason that it's a desired strategy by the Trump administration, it's because they have to pay less interest payments on the substantial debt that the United States government's accumulated. And so that's why the interest rate discussion is so important. Yes, it's consumers and businesses, and most importantly, it's the government debt, which trumps everything else. Pardon the pun. Like how I and they said that the negotiation agricultural products. All right, and also there wants them to purchase a 10, 20, 30 billion dollars, whatever it is, a month of agricultural products. May not be that much, but they want to commit to a regular schedule, and it needs to be enforceable. China is not down to play by those rules, and so that's why the phase one deal hasn't been signed. Donald Trump says phase one deal is 60% of the entire thing. I tell you this, to fix the problems, the phase one deal is probably going to end up being 8% of the whole thing. Just a number, but I think what the whole point of making is going to be a lot less of the impact than anticipated. That's why it's a phase one deal. And there's difficulty in getting the phase one deal through. And so I'm going to go ahead and call this and say on China's behalf, I don't think the Chinese government wants to make a deal until the election is over with Donald Trump. They want to see what happens. I think they're looking to give and take a little bit just to keep hopes alive, but they're going to look to push it to the election date with giving small commitments, etc., but not really working on the main deal to see what happens. This is my forecast. All right, it's my opinion. What happens is if we get to the point where the election happens and Donald Trump gets reelected for a second term, he's gonna get really angry and really get aggressive on China. A lot of his administration are China hawks. They're pushing for this kind of stuff. They want to escalate and continue to balance out the relationship. So if Donald Trump wins, I think new tariffs will come on a really wide scale. There's going to get really aggressive, and the market's not going to like that. And there could be a lot of risk. For now, though, the market's shrugging off this phase one deal being delayed. It doesn't really care and continues to new all-time highs. That's very typical of a bull market. Bull markets will shrug off bad news for long enough and continue higher, and eventually they turn. Markets don't crash from lows. Markets crash from highs. That's a quote. You can feel free to share. Last but not least, why is the stock market going up so much? Today, I want to give you guys a little bit more depth into this market update. The reason the stock market's going up so much is one reason alone, pushing this thing higher, and many people don't realize it's true. As TRADEPRO Academy, it's our job to tell you this kind of stuff. It's the Federal Reserve launching QE4 and calling it not QE. All right, quantitative easing. You don't know this probably, but the Federal Reserve has been buying $60 billion worth of bonds for the last month, and they're going to continue to do it into the second quarter of 2020. And they're doing repo agreements, which is providing and injecting liquidity in the banking sector. And when Jerome Powell was asked, which bank is getting this liquidity, right? I've told you often, I have a feeling something's going on. All right, behind their nose, the Fed won't share. Something bigger that if they admitted could be catastrophic. Something like a Lehman Brothers situation in its early stage. They said this, in 2 years' time, we'll release that information. It becomes public. He did not answer which bank was getting a lot of the liquidity. Here's the question. Is it just one bank or is it the whole banking sector? If it's one bank, is there more trouble that's being hidden? Why did Jerome Powell's Federal Reserve flip from selling bonds out of their portfolio or tightening, fiscal tightening, to suddenly buying 60 billion? Right? Remember, they were reducing the portfolio size by $30 to $40 billion a month. Now they flip 180 and start buying $60 billion worth of bonds every single month to stimulate the economy, and on top of it are providing short-term repos for liquidity injections. What is going on? Right? Because we don't know, the market continues to pump higher on this accommodative policy of the Fed. It's all the Fed. Don't fight it, trade it. In other news, I plan to spend a few minutes on this, spent a few more than I wanted to, but it's good. Now you know, if you ask the right questions today at 1 p.m. for the 25K Q&A, in celebration having 25,000 subscribers, you're probably going to get a lot of info out of me. I like to give more than less. Disney is in the news. Shares are up 7.3% to a record 148.72 on Wednesday. We hit an all-time high. Disney reported that they had 10 million subscribers to their streaming service, Disney Plus, in the first day. That's freaking phenomenal. When they announced a triple bundle, I was like, this is going to be huge, because one thing I don't like about Netflix is the content, especially Netflix Canada. Content stinks. All right. There's some good gems on there, but all in all, it's not something you watch all day because there isn't the material, and also that's counterintuitive to being successful. All right. The market cap of Disney is now $268 billion, and it is twice as valuable as Netflix, which saw its market value tumble to about $124 billion. All right, the streaming competition is heating up here. Remember this though, Disney was really helped in its valuation stretch by the $71 billion acquisition of Century Fox, 21st Century Fox, which was completed in March. In today's markets, Asia, Japan, Hong Kong, China, all flat for the most part. Hong Kong's down about 1%. India's up 0.4. In Europe, at midday, London's down 0.4%. Paris flat. Frankfurt down 0.3. Futures in the U.S. all down 0.2%. Dow, S&P, and NASI. Crude oil pumping higher, up by 1.1% on a surprise draw yesterday on the API report versus an expectation of a build. Just a reminder, crude oil has a inventory report today at 11 a.m. and it causes a lot of opportunity. And we say that in 1 hour of one day, you can make your whole week. No matter what job you're working, you could make more trading crude. There's a lot of opportunity. Last couple of weeks, it's been a little bit slower, and there's still been the opportunity. I stand by that statement. All right, that's what we're looking at. Gold's flat. Bitcoin's down 1.8% into the mid 8,000s. And this morning's economic calendar, 9:10, we have Fed's Evans speaking right now. Fed's Clarita speaking. 10 a.m., Powell's going to testify before the House Budget Committee. Yesterday, it was in Congress, stays in the House. 10:30, we have natural gas inventory. 11 a.m., we have Department of Energy's crude oil inventory report. So a lot of opportunity in today's session. Expect some tape bombs or across the news wire, and I think that's going to be what drives the volatility. At 12 p.m., we have a few more Fed speakers, and then 4:30, we have money supply and the Fed balance sheet. So all in all, it's going to be an eventful day. For us, 1 p.m., just another last reminder, because I'm not going to get a chance to share it with you before then. 1 p.m. today, the link is in the description, or will be in a few minutes. Mark, is it in the description? Oh, he threw it in the comment chat. Save that link, and we'll see you guys there at 1 p.m. today. It's today is the 25K Q&A, and it's in celebration for reaching 25,000 subscribers, and we owe that to you. Thank you guys for being part of the channel and the community. We love you guys. All right, have a great rest of your day. Take care. I got to open up the trading room. Goodbye from me and everyone here. We appreciate you guys. Take care and have an awesome rest of your day. Manage your risk, trade pro. Goodbye. All right, trade pros in the room. Let's send it over to our oil desk.